It's good to see you again. And I would like to personally understand and get to know more about where you're coming from regarding the transformation of the Earth and our movement into what we consider New Earth consciousness or the Aquarian Age. There's a lot of people that don't even know, let alone understand, that there's this movement that's been going on for decades, and especially now where there's a big shift happening. There's a lot of people that apparently are still living their 9-to-5 jobs thinking it's business as usual. Oh, and yeah, we have wars going on and our economy's not very good and government's doing this, that, and the other, but really, what do you feel is the undercurrent of the world right now, and what is our challenge? What are we moving into?
The thing that's coming to mind on the different levels is that there's that one kind of bamboo that grows underground for 15 years. And then all of a sudden it springs up and it's everywhere. The nature of this shift is similar because as I look at the fabrics of reality, meaning the different layers of consciousness, so what is humanity's consciousness, what is the Earth's, what is the more celestial, both the quantum science, the more heavenly, and then also the galactic, which would be more like the other races. This thing is coming in, and this is getting sandwiched. So the majority of the population on this planet are in that consciousness, and it's going to be like, you know, a big jolt. So when it happens, the fabric of this reality is connected with the consciousness of the planet in such that if mankind can shift, the Earth won't have to. But the Earth will do that. Whatever, it will stay on schedule. So we are on that leading edge, surfing that, because we've been there many times, and now we're here at a very auspicious moment in awakening that will create a new thing. And it's like, this is what's cool about this ascension, is that it's going to include so much more segment of the population. And it won't be an easy ride for a lot of people. So that's why we have to be really strong. So it's going to be sometimes quick and then silent, and it's going to be like, what was that? And it's going to start taking larger and larger sectors of people. That's, yeah.
I'd like to ask you a personal question. So from the time that you remember being born here, coming in, although I believe you have a different incarnational scenario here than most people, but maybe just brief overview of your life and that moment where you, I guess, really came here. If there's anything you'd like to share with us about that in relationship to your mission, your soul purpose.
The body is with the McCormick line, which has a regal nobility that has been like a knighthood for the people. The whole coat of arms is like that. So the body and the Patrick went through all of that into a life, a regular one, but being very eccentric intellectually, but not spiritually yet. It was a very interesting layer of possibility. So it was like this kid that was not connecting. There was always this background feeling like, don't alter the local life forms. Don't mess with the humans too much. And then it was in '87 during the harmonic convergence in Sedona that the change happened to where I went through the major transformation, and the spirit that was Patrick went away, and then the other one came in, which was Zephyr. And it was that being that integrated, and so it was time to just bring in that identity of Patrick, because the other stuff is was for those times. And these changes go back and forth, you know, on the layers of consciousness and possibility. So it was great, and now it's time to really integrate this. So I am Patrick, is that energy of the being that came in, and here to help awaken the codes within humanity, with a special design to make sure that there's certain codes of ascension that are supposed to trigger other things. It's like a temp file that's compressed. So now we're starting to get that out. And it's not readable, usually, so because it's on a need-no basis, and I didn't need to know that, so.
I love that part. One further question. So from your perspective, say in the next 2 to 3 years, what do you see as possibilities for humanity and the Earth Mother at this time?
Is the most recent thing, but time is changing, reality is changing, which is different than the time, and the other stuff. The fabric of reality is being altered by the shifting of continuums, the course correction of the spiritual reality. So now we have this situation where it's like the perfect storm of awakening. And as far as what is going to happen, could change. That's why good luck on predicting stuff, because it is on one plane of paradigm of consciousness, and then there's the other one, and then the other one, or whatever, and so the divergence and keeps switching. So the future is not set, neither is the past. And so this back and forth thing is now at a point where it's kind of being orchestrated by the celestial frequencies coming in. That's the universal schedule. So humanity is going on this really interesting journey, and it's just warming up. The 2012 scenario allowed all of the, oh my God, worst case of everything to happen, and it didn't need to physically manifest. But that was the download. Now it's being installed up until the spring equinox of 2013, and they're going to run the program in the first beta test up until 2015, and that's going to be coinciding with some very large spikes of solar activity, which will be very different. There'll be different frequencies that NASA or whoever is reading this will not have seen before. And it's like, uh-oh, and this is going to create a, not caustic, but a cause and effect in the magnetosphere, which will then alter the species, the rate of evolution, and the availability of consciousness. This also, I see, thinning the veils to the point where we're going to have our sights just be natural. So it's going to be a lot easier to help people to go those final phases. So that's going to be through 2015. It's going to stabilize and then get ready for something really probably exciting. Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick, very much for the updates. And this is Kenji Kumara interviewing Patrick McCormick in the Cosmic Year 2013, November.